Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Wildcat Way Show. My name is Kari E. Valance.
And I'm Kendale Lumpkins. Welcome to the newly dropped episode of the Wildcat Way Show, a show in which we hope encourages and inspires all who are watching on YouTube and or listening on our podcast.
Now, we'll drop a new episode of the Wildcat Way Show every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., which will talk about different current events or life happenings that are impacting us and our families. Today, we're going to continue on with last week's episode. We were talking about Thanksgiving, and we're coming into the holidays. And last week, we discussed how important it is to be thankful for where you are in your lives. And today, we're going to talk about the importance of giving, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people actually look forward to when it comes to the holiday season, because I mean, don't you think it just feels good to give to people? Yeah,
so whenever you know that you're making a difference in somebody else's life, like I felt a lot of good feelings in my life. Like there's a lot of things that I had fun doing, but I don't think anything compares to knowing that you met a need, that you helped somebody genuinely from the kindness of your heart.
Right.
And so it's just so rewarding. And it's not nothing tangible that you could touch, but just to give, it just brings some fulfillment to you, knowing that you're making a difference. And I saw this quote one day, and it says that the platform is for service, not stardom. Right. So we should be trying to serve each other out of our platforms, give out of our platforms, opposed to always wanting somebody to give and give to us, right? So that's why giving is always special to me. And I struggle even with the receiving side of it, right? Because I'm just a giver. I like to help people. And, you know, that's a whole nother subject, right? A whole nother episode that we could talk about when it comes to receiving. But, man, giving is just a life-changing experience whenever you know that you made a difference in somebody's life. And
it doesn't always have to be a material item, right, or something tangible. You can give your time to some people. There have been many times in my life, especially growing up as a high schooler, as a part of our Beta Club and our National Honor Society, we would spend like the second Sunday of every month at our nursing home, our local nursing home. So we would spend the morning and play bingo with all the residents of the nursing home, and then we would each take turns like bringing them back to their rooms and just spending some time with them. Because there are a lot of people that really don't have family around them that are able to kind of just have a conversation with and talk about their day and talk about their interests, and they want to show you, you know, their collectibles and things like that. So even giving a moment of your time to someone who may be, you know, struggling a little bit or may not be in their happiest point of life is really a huge act of giving.
And so, Kari, that's the challenge too, because I think some people think that it has to be monetary. It has to be materialistic. But like there are people, everybody has something that they could give. If it's their time, it's their talent, it's their energy. Right. You should be willing to give that because, like you said, you know that it's helping make somebody else's life better, because some people don't have that. I'm telling you, some of the best things that have ever happened to me was when I may have said something, may have done something, and somebody say, man, I was on the verge of giving up. I really needed to hit that at the moment. Like, you're giving of yourself, you're giving of the gift, you're giving of what God has given into you. So it just makes it so much better when you know that, man, this is actually working, this is helping people. And this is why, like, even for this show, Kari, this is a gift. This is us giving, because we don't necessarily have to do this. Right? We could be doing something else, but I believe our hearts are pure. I believe our hearts and our minds are in the right place. So we're not trying to be popular from this. We're trying to say, hey, there may be something that we do, there may be something that we say, there may be something that we be as a gift to you. We hope it encourages you on your journey. It's the difference between trying to be popular and trying to be impactful. That's it. We just want to give ourselves to our listeners and to our community, to our PRCC and our Wildcat family, and just encouragement, and to give them motivation, and to give them a positivity and a way of looking at things in a more aspirational light, right? And I think that especially during this time of year and during the holidays, it can be a struggle for a lot of people, you know? And I know that last week we talked about being thankful, and that's just really something that I've been thinking about, because we are very lucky and we are very blessed to be a part of this community and to work with the people that we do. And we like you said last week, you don't have to go to your job. We get to come to our job. And like I said, like, this show is one of my priorities in my workday. Like, I love it, and I love being with you. So I don't want to see anything go away from that. And I think that we have to keep in mind that we're blessed, so we should be thankful, and that we can continue to give ourselves to our community in every aspect that we can. Yeah, because that's, like I mentioned, that's what makes life rewarding. And I think purpose comes from that, right? Whenever you know who you are, you know what you're good at, you know what you're capable of doing, and you freely give that away, right? So the hope is that as you give, the person that you gave to will find it in their heart to go give. And I believe if we're all giving and we're all serving, we're all helping people, it just makes the world a better place, right? It just makes living, it just makes your community, it makes your school, it makes your classroom, it makes whatever it is that you have just to give. And I think that giving is one of the number one ways that it could change your heart. If you're not feeling well, if you're not doing so well, like whenever I get on social media and I may be down in the moment, I may not be feeling my best, if I know that I'm encouraging somebody, it could change the course of my day because I gave something to other people, and then it warmed my heart. It made me feel better. And I mentioned last week when we talked about going to the prisons, like Kari, that's me giving my time, my energy, my talent, my ability. And there are times whenever I'm almost brought to tears to see how they warm up to that. To see how somebody say, man, thank you for showing me that you care. Like that means something to me. Because those people's lives matter too.
Oh, absolutely.
Regardless of, like when we talk about the angel tree and the kids that are parents are incarcerated, it would be foolish of us to see our kids have gifts and have things and not give back. Not go and say, hey, because I'm talking about if you teach your kids this early. Like my son now wants to give the majority of his toys away. Because he didn't realize that other kids don't have toys. He thought that every kid had toys. He thought that everybody's life was like this. But then when you realize, hold on, Daddy, they got kids that don't have toys. They got kids that don't have a meal. We got a homeless shelter in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You go there, them people just for a meal. Knowing that you're helping them makes the difference. And that's why I say stardom. I mean, the stage is for service, not for stardom. The platform should be for serving people, not to be seen, not for people to bring recognition to you, because that's your selfish ambition, trying to get people to see you, opposed to meeting a need that really needs to be met. And I believe everybody in this world has something they could give. Whenever we're on this campus, these young people see us, Kari, this means something to them. Whenever they see us, oh, that's Miss Kari, that's Mr. Kendale, how y'all doing today? Like that makes a difference in their lives when you can stop 5 minutes out of your day and give an encouraging word. Help them along the way, help them find something, right? That means something to people. And that's why I'm so drawn to people, because we can all be selfish. We all have our selfish ways. There's no doubt about that. We're not trying to act like we're perfect. I'm just saying you have to be conscious to realize you've been blessed to be a blessing to other people.
Absolutely, and that's a great way to put it, because it is okay to be selfish to an extent, right? Like, I mean, I'm selfish with my children. And I mean that in a way that I want to spend time with them. You know, I'm a working mom, so I'm gone for 8 hours of the day. And so whenever we get home, I want to be the one that makes them dinner. I want to be the one that gives them baths and put them to bed.
That's it.
So even though, you know, my sister-in-law or my mother-in-law want to come over and help as well, I'm like, hey, I got this. You know, this is my time that I get to spend with my babies, which is a blessing, and I'm thankful for the ability to be able to do that. I'm also thankful for them willing to help and wanting to be a part of their lives. Not everybody is as fortunate to live the way I do, where I live in a home and my next door neighbors are my immediate family members. So we're always able to be together and see each other.
That's awesome.
And we're always giving each other our time, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm able to see my niece, Lainey, grow up every single day. I've seen her for the last 10 years every day, because she's lived right next door to me this whole time. So I'm very blessed in that aspect, that we're able to be around each other, and I'm thankful for it. And I think that as a family, we have taken a lot of major steps to make sure that we prioritize our way of life in a way that, especially during this time of the year, we're able to give back. You know, we're not a large family, but we're a strong family. And so we've all made it a point to have like different ideas of where we want to give our time, our maybe culinary expertise, and our money to, especially during this time of the year, because you can really make a difference in someone's life, and especially their children's memories of the holidays, just by donating a turkey, you know, during this time of year, because that can be the difference between a happy Thanksgiving and a not so happy one.
And Kari, as you were talking like it was just tugging at my heart. Somebody else's prayer is your gift.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That turkey, that pair of clothes,
right.
those shoes, that thing that you and your family gather together to give away, that's somebody else's prayer.
Absolutely.
And I believe if we all had that mindset, like my life is only valuable if I'm making a difference in somebody else's life. My life only has meaning if I'm giving away what I have. And the more I give, the more I get. The better off I feel, right? The more encouragement I give, it seems like it just, oh yeah, here's more encouragement to give away.
Right.
But I think hoarders, I think the people that don't want to give, that want to keep everything to themselves, that got to be miserable, right? Yeah. Because you end up lonely, you end up with nobody to help you, you
Absolutely.
end up where nobody wants to give to you because you didn't give to them.
Right.
And I'm saying it's like giving gives other people an opportunity to receive, and then that same gift that you gave, I'm telling you, it encourages other people. Man, he helped me, let me go help somebody else.
Are you ready to join the fastest growing community college in Mississippi? Pearl River Community College is ready for you. With improvements at each of our 4 locations in Poplarville, Hattiesburg, Waveland, and online, securing your future has never been more exciting. 42 career and technical programs and academic transfer options allow you to build a bright future at the river. When faced with adversity, Wildcats never quit. Visit prcc.edu to learn more.
It's kind of like that story that goes around social media sometimes, like at Starbucks, when the first car in front says, hey, I'm going to pay for the coffee of the guy behind me. And the guy pulls up, hey, I'm going to pay for the coffee of the lady behind me. Oh, she got a breakfast sandwich too? I've got it. And then that goes on and on. That little act of kindness can make someone's day. And by making someone else feel that certain emotion in the morning, you have no idea how that can impact them or the other people that they come in contact with throughout the day. Think about if we talk about this, especially with teachers or like even elementary school, like bus drivers. They're the first people that little kids see every morning.
That's it.
So when they get on the school bus to go to school, if that bus driver doesn't have a great attitude, then that can kind of deter the kids, which I'm so thankful. I always had wonderful bus drivers that made that experience so much fun. And so we try to keep that mentality here at PRCC because we know that our interactions with our students here are just can be a detriment or can be the biggest blessing in their lives. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the best versions of ourselves at all time. And that could be, you know, happy-go-lucky Kari Eve, or if you need a serious talk with me and you need my advice about something of utmost importance and very much serious, I'll be there to sit quietly with you and talk to you, hug it out, whatever you need. You just have to come and tell me what it is you're looking for.
Yeah, and Kari, when you think about the kids, the students that's on this campus, and you mentioned the bus drivers, like that's why when you work here, last week we talked about purpose in the Thanksgiving session episode, like everybody's life has purpose, but you can abuse that, right? When you think that you got the job just for you.
Right.
And I've told you this before, like I've told Dr. Brillwood, man, him spending time with me 16 years ago, whenever I came to this campus, inviting, loving, hey man, let's talk, man, helped inspire me.
Right.
He didn't have to do that. He could have been like, oh, that's just another kid, get out of my face.
Right.
We don't need to talk. But him giving his time, him giving, he don't even realize what he was doing in the moment.
Right.
Until I go back and I tell him, hey man, that helped change the course of my life. That helped me be a better man.
Sure.
That helped me aspire to be something one day, right? And so it's those things, my mentors, the people that are in my life, my family, that have given themselves to me, just makes me want to go give it to the world. Right. And I think, Kari, we have an opportunity to give, but if we don't take advantage of it, then there are other people's lives that are suffering.
I agree.
Because we're too selfish.
Right.
Because we don't want to get out of our own way and think about other people other than just ourselves. And I'm not saying you do it to where it's devastating or it's killing you.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. No. But sacrifice does hurt.
Sure.
Sacrifice don't always feel good.
Right.
Sacrifice means you have to give up something that you want in order to help somebody else get what they want. And that stuff makes a difference. And so when you do that, you could see, oh, Kari, you remember that young lady that we talked to? She's 25, married now.
Right.
Because of the conversation that you had with her.
Right.
Right? it helped her change her life. It helped her to see life from a different perspective. You gave her something that nobody was able to give at that time or were willing to give.
Right.
And look at the fruit of it, right? And so that's why, you know, and I'm not going to apologize for saying this. I'm just saying that I struggle with people that live in their selfishness. I struggle with people that have but don't want to give.
Right.
I struggle with people that know that they could help but don't want to. Like, that bothers me, because I'm like, you didn't get where you are just for you.
Right.
And not just your family, because my family right now, Kari, my family would be okay.
Right.
If I did everything that I'm doing now, my family would be okay. But I gotta give. I feel compelled, I feel led, I feel drawn to giving, because I know that that makes a difference in other people's lives.
Right, and I think that's really important too, to like listen to your calling of what it is you're drawn to do, because sometimes people refuse to listen to that voice.
That's it.
You know, I mean, they refuse to actually open up their hearts and their minds to see, well, no, that's going to take up too much of my time. No. I might need to use that in 3 more years or something. You know what I mean? Like that's what I said like last week, that I make a point to like purge things. And you know, our kids are growing. They don't need baby toys anymore.
That's
you
it.
know, and my daughter is the last grandchild, so I'm not holding on to things like that. I'd rather box everything up and go give it to Goodwill and make sure that then my kids know, because with my son, he's 4, he'll be 5 next month, and we have already done this a couple of times and he actually enjoys it. Say, let's go through your toys and you really think about if you want to keep this one or this one, and you choose which one's gonna go, because some kids don't have a whole box of toys like you do, and I feel like some other kids might have more fun and be able to use it in a way that you aren't right now.
And being intentional with the giving makes the difference.
Right.
Because you have to intentionally give, because by nature, like we mentioned, we all want what we want when we want it, and it's ours. That's so kids, whenever I see my kid, that's my toy. My 2-year-old, she'll say, it's mine, it's mine. And I have to say, hold on.
Like,
hey,
who taught them that?
Share. hey, share. It's okay to share.
Yeah.
And then she say, okay, daddy. And then she'll give it, because my son will be playing with his toys, and she'll want his toys too.
Absolutely.
But you have to be intentional, because you could be raising kids that think everything belongs to them and that they should not give anything away. And so my heart is always full of joy whenever I see young people get it, when I see adults get it, that when you say you're calling, right? Because, Kari, this is the reality. I don't always feel like doing this. I don't always feel like talking to people. Right? But what drives me is that I get to do it. Right, absolutely. And it brings a joy after I've done it. Just like with the gym. I mean, Kari, I may get up at 4:30 and be at the gym for 5, but I don't necessarily like doing that. But after I do it,
yes, that feeling,
I feel a sense of accomplishment. Feel like, man, I achieved something today. Right. And that's the same way giving is for me. Absolutely. Whenever I know that I help make somebody else's life better on this journey while I'm passing through, it makes me feel like my life has meaning, my life has significance, my life is making an impact. Right. And I think that's, at the end of the day, at the core of us, that should be what we should be focusing on. 100%. Especially around this time of the year, right? And not just this time, but how do we build on it? How do we keep moving forward with that same mindset? Right, and that's the thing. Like, just a few, last week we were able to, the Poplarville Rotary Club, we bought 10 baskets full of food, 10 turkeys with all the trimming, or 20 turkeys with all the trimmings that we were able to put in the baskets, give to this organization called My Brother's Keepers Ministry, and they're going to deliver to families in need in this area, so that way they can have a Thanksgiving. That's just it took 15 minutes, you know, and like $20 that we all donated, that can change the course of the day, which could change the whole holidays, which could in turn change the memories of those children that it will be feeding, so that way they have a memory of a happy Thanksgiving. And that, what I'm trying to say is just that one simple act of giving can really change a whole person's life, because they aren't going to be sad or hungry or depressed or unhappy. They are going to be happy and fulfilled and thankful. And you have to realize that it's not really a struggle for you to do it. Now, I'm not saying go above and beyond your means or to give to your own or your family's detriment, because there are some people that do it like that, where you can't take food out of your family's mouth to give someone else. It's like taking away from Paul to give to Peter. But you have to be conscious that if you have a little bit excess, it's better to give it to someone else who has none. And so, Kari, as you was as you was talking, I was getting kind of, I had to catch myself getting choked up because when I told you last week that, my dad got hurt, my high school basketball coach would buy my basketball stuff because we couldn't afford it. He didn't have to do that. Right. But he gave me something out of his own pocket, out of his own money. My younger brother and me, he bought my basketball clothes, paid for our basketball camps. That changed my life. And I'm forever connected to him. Because I appreciate him doing that. Then when you talked about the turkey, right, there were years we didn't have turkey. There were years when we couldn't afford that. All we had was what my mom and dad would cook. And we were thankful for that. So knowing where we come from, knowing that we have the ability to give, man, it would just be crazy for us not to relish at the opportunities and take that to heart and say, hey man, let's go help somebody else that's less fortunate, because that could be the meal, that could be the act, that could be them seeing God in your actions that say, you know what? There are some good people in this world. And I pray I get to a place in my life where I'm able to give back like that too.
That could change the course of their lives to where they see, this was given to me, I one day want to be the person that gives to someone else.
That's it.
And really, isn't that all we want from in life? Like if you can be the one person that inspires a change or inspires a positive reaction in someone, and they in turn do the same for someone else, isn't that just the biggest blessing that you can come to?
Yeah, and so Kari, what I think what happens so often is because I've had to catch myself, is we get so busy. Right? So busyness gets in the way of us giving, gets in the way of us being productive, because just because you're busy don't mean you're making an impact. So I'm trying to only do the things that are valuable, only do the things that are really important, only do the things that are meaningful. And so our busyness could make us miss humans. It could make us miss the need. It could make us overlook the people that really, really need our help in that moment. So man, it's important for us to not let our titles, not let our positions, not let our jobs get in the way of us just seeing people. Right? If you see a student and you and I have to do a show or we have to go to a meeting, hey, that meeting can wait if that kid is crying.
Absolutely.
That meeting can wait if there's something that's going on and somebody needs our help. Right? And if the people don't understand and know, well, but I knew I needed to meet a need, I need to give something in that moment, right? To help make that kid's life better.
And that's something that I can admit I do struggle with sometimes, because sometimes I feel I am so busy, and I'm the type of person where if I have a task, I want to get it done. I can't. It eats at me all day if I know that I'm supposed to make this video for someone and they are waiting for it. Then I'm just like, I have to get to it, or else I just start to feel anxious. So that is something, like we said numerous times, we are not perfect. Everything that we talk about is what we try to live by and what we aspire to be. But a lot of things we talk about are things that
we're struggling with.
Yeah, and it's almost like a therapy session for us, because as we're talking, I'm literally sitting here like, I was just feeling like that this morning. I was literally thinking in my head as we were getting ready for the show, well, actually I have to do this, this, and this. And now I'm just like, you know what? I'll get to it. Like, don't stress. There's a lot more. I'm thankful for what we're doing, and we're giving of our time. And really what's most important is spending this time with you so that we can talk to our listeners and our viewers, try to make a positive impact with everyone.
I heard this lady say this. She was at a meeting. We were in Louisiana at our training facility, and she said, be where you're at. And when she said it, I had to think about it. I was like, what in the world? Be in the moment. Where you are right now, what you're giving right now, what you're doing right now is the most important thing. When this is over, then you journey to something else. Right? And I'm still having to learn that, because my mind could be where I need to be at 6 o'clock. My mind, but no, where I am right now is where I need to be, giving, serving, and being the best version of myself in this moment.
Well, I think that's all the time that we have for today, but I've really, really enjoyed these last couple of episodes talking about the importance of being thankful and the importance of giving to other people. That really is what this whole holiday is about, right? And we're able to celebrate life with all of our family and all of our friends and loved ones. And we just want to make sure that you all know, all of our viewers and our entire Wildcat family, that we're thankful for all of you. And that if you ever need anything from the two of us or from anyone else in the Wildcat family, we are here to help and give you as much as ourselves as we can. So we just hope that y'all have a wonderful holiday season, and we will be back around Christmas time with some new episodes. And I think we're going to kind of do some highlight episodes during the holidays to kind of get people through everything, and then we'll for sure be back with some new episodes at the start of the new year. So have a happy holidays, and thank you so much for tuning in.